Hi everyone, so I'm doing my John Maxwell for today, September the 27th. It's a Saturday, and the scripture for today is Ephesians 1:1. Paul, an apostle of Jesus Christ by the will of God, to the saints who are in Ephesus and faithful in Jesus Christ. Any dream that you have is worth sharing with others. When we have dreams for our lives, when we have plans, when we have things we want to accomplish, we don't keep them to ourselves. We don't say, okay, this is my plan, this is my dream, I'm just going to put it over here. It's like the imagery of the light that you put on a lampstand. You don't put a lamp on and then cover it so that it's dark. You put a lamp on so that it shines, the light shines for everyone to see. And it's true with our dreams as well. The person who shares his dream gets to watch his dream grow. The synergy of shared ideas often takes it to a whole new level. The dream becomes greater than the person launching it ever imagined it could be. And those who participate in it often adopt it as their own dream. As you give others an opportunity to share your dream and paint a broad landscape for them, so that they can catch your vision, they can see what you want to accomplish. And we have to have an imagery. So some people use a visioning board, others use a diary, some people will use online media to share their dream. And the horizon will help us to look at the possibilities ahead. So if you're always focusing on fear, and you're always focusing on, like, AI is going to take our jobs away, AI is going to cause religion to fail, AI is going to bring about all these bad things, then that's not really helpful. But AI also brings tools to us. It brings opportunities to share the gospel. It brings new ways of communication. So we have to look for the possibilities in our horizon. If you look at a landscape, if you take an imagery of a picture, like I have a picture of a landscape of Africa, and it's elephants walking in the sunset, and there's birds flying, there's trees. In the foreground, there's a little drinking hole where the elephants go to drink, and they're walking past that, and the sun is setting. So that's a beautiful imagery. If you can use that imagery, the sun is there to give us hope and warmth. The mountains in the background, which are in my painting, they are there to represent the challenges ahead. Because in every life we will have challenges. No one gets through life without there being challenges. The birds, to inspire us to soar like eagles, or even tiny birds, they inspire us on our journey to soar, to use whatever we have to make our dreams come true. And the trees are there to show us life, to show us hope, just like flowers, to remind us to enjoy the journey. On my picture, I have one tree where all the leaves have fallen off, and you see it completely bare, and on the other side, there's a tree which is in full blossom. It's green and it's thriving. And Africa is very much like that. You'll have trees that they're completely bare, and you'll have other trees in the same season of the year where they are flourishing and thriving. So it reminds us to stop and pay attention to nature and what nature has to teach us, because the two trees are in the same soil, in the same earth, but they built for different things. God created them for different purposes. So the tree that is green and that is full now will be shedding its leaves or will not be there when the other one is thriving. And some trees are coniferous, like the pine trees. They evergreen. So each life has a purpose according to how God designed it. And then the path to offer direction and security. For us, our sacred texts are our direction and our security on our journey back to the Lord. And all we're learning in life, all we're doing in life, using our creative talents, it's all providing us with direction. And then yourself, how do you see yourself in your commitment to your dream and to them? Because I'm looking at the picture from the outside, it's a picture on my wall, but I also have memories from Africa. I also have things that I'm aiming for, that I'm looking to accomplish, like the transformation trips with the Maxwell Leadership Team. I'm sharing these videos so they can inspire others and help others on their journey, and teaching others as well. And then it's also about the others, about them, to show where they fit in and to communicate your belief in them. If I didn't think these videos wouldn't help anyone, I wouldn't put them out there. If I didn't think people would watch them and follow me, I wouldn't put them out there. But because I know people are watching them, people are following them, people are also learning from what I have to offer as a Maxwell speaker, I can put them out there and I can use my skills on my journey. When you are willing to share the dream by including others, there's almost no limit to what you can accomplish. The impossible comes within reach. And the question for today is, how can you paint a broad landscape for your specific dream? So you can have an overall vision of what you want to achieve. And as you take steps, you help that dream to come about. You set goals, you set realistic goals, you take steps on a daily basis. And it's the same with training for any sport, whether it's swimming or cycling or your exercise, whatever you're doing, you take small steps. You start with a 2-minute walk, then you make it a 5-minute walk, then you make it a 10-minute walk, and then you make it a 20-minute walk. And slowly, slowly, you get stronger and stronger. And that's what I've had to do on my faith journey. And that's what I've had to do on my exercise journey as well. Healing your liver, healing your ears, healing a body that is crashing against itself, that's developing autoimmune diseases, is not easy. But it is possible. And reading the books I have, like Healing Spices, some of the other books I have from St. Hildegard, all of those have helped me on my journey. I think it was just the shock that it was so severe. But then what Teleperformance did to me was so severe, because I told them I have low anxiety, I'm not supposed to work overnight. Those 3 chats at a time is too much for me. Back-to-back calls, I need an extra break, and they just refused. So the severity of how I was treated in my jobs, the constant layoffs, 3 to 6 months, long tolls of unemployment, it all took a toll on my body. You can stay positive, you can stay with being in God's Word, you can stay focused on your creative skills, but ultimately how the circumstances are shaping up and how others treat you and companies allow you to be treated, it does take a toll on us. And it's not just happening to me, it's happening to millions of people that are working in Canada, that are working in Teleperformance or other companies, because the accommodation exists in name only. And when the push comes to shove, they'll just tell you that, well, the clients don't agree and we can't accommodate you. So they're creating cycles of illness, of unemployment, of people being constantly stressed, needing drugs to survive. They're creating it. And so with journeys like mine, people like me are pushing back, just like they did in COVID, where even the doctors and the healthcare professionals, they rebelled against the government. They picketed, they had demonstrations to say that we shouldn't be forcing people to take the vaccines. And people demonstrated against Emmanuel Macron and people were calling us pig shit, because we are not. Ultimately, that's, maybe they should call themselves pig shit and see how they like it. They should look in the mirror and say, I am pig shit, and see how they like it, because they are supposed to be in government to look after us, to work in the interest of the public, and to make sure that we have the systems in place to do our work when they are employers. And it's not good enough to say, well, we tried. Because when I worked at Teleperformance, I told them, they said it's going to take a month to create a new ID for you. I said, so create the new ID. Why are you laying me off? Create the new ID, and then after a month I can come back. You're laying me off, you're putting me out onto the street, and all I'm going to have is the employment insurance, and I'm not going to have anything else. And they refused. So, I tried to talk to them. I tried to tell them the right way to do it, and they refused to help me. So now I'm sitting at home applying for jobs, contacting politicians, contacting companies, contacting foundations, looking for opportunities to do youth leadership work, looking for opportunities to take my skills to the schools, and looking for paid employment. And a lot of companies are laying people off. Starbucks is closing a lot of the coffee shops here in Toronto. Other shops are closing. So where those opportunities are going to come from, I don't know. But I do know that I'm not going to give up. And I do know that I'm going to persevere, and I'm going to keep trying for me and my mom, because it's also stressful for her, because I don't have an income coming in. And I signed the papers to bring her to Canada. My brother and sister supported me and the rest of the family, but legally I signed the papers. So it's a lot of stress, it's a lot to deal with, but I put my faith in the Lord, and I keep my vision. And I have that painting on my wall. It's on my wall in front of me, of the elephants walking past the water hole. And the water hole is also a reminder of God's providence, whether it's for work or food or whatever we have. Without the rain, we don't have anything. We can't grow our crops, we can't help our families, we can't even bathe or shower on a daily basis. I like to shower on a daily basis. I hate being dirty, I hate being unhygienic, and that's part of my Zimbabwean background, because with the heat and with the dust and everything, they make sure that you wash on a daily basis. When you come inside, you wash your hands. Before you eat, you wash your hands. You finish eating, you wash your hands. Zimbabweans are very clean, and we're very hygienic. So I bring all those things with me to Canada, and people don't like it when I tell them, but you know what? That's what's helped my health. That's what's helped me to stay focused. And a lot of people suffer here. They suffer with loneliness. They suffer with focusing inward, looking at inward and focusing on their life. And how I have coped is by focusing outward. I focus on, where can I get involved? What can I do? How can I keep busy and keep active? And that's why the loneliness doesn't get to me. And also my prayer, I know that God is always with me. So how can I be lonely if I know that my best friend and the one who loves me the most is always with me? And I can talk to God anytime, any place, even mentally. And also the loved ones who have departed are watching over me. So how can I be lonely? And even Elvis, I talk to Elvis every day. Some days I don't talk to him, but I play his music. So I don't get lonely, because I'm too busy to be lonely. And everyone goes through struggles in life, that's all I can say. If you're expecting to get out of this life problem free, then I wish you good luck. That's all I can say. But that's the teaching for today. It's a leader's heart. And it's about building resilience, keeping our vision, and keeping focused on God's economy. Because in God's economy, there are lots of opportunities. There's abundance available, but some people hoard it for themselves. And that's why we have so many problems in our world, including with sharing finances, making loans available, giving grants to people, because they're not focusing on building a flourishing economy. They're building a scarcity economy. And when you build a scarcity economy, it makes it very difficult. It's like, well, if you want to have this house and this car, like you literally have to kill yourself to get it. And people are saying, no, we're tired of it. This is an abundant world, and there's more than enough available for everyone. We don't need slavery to build stadiums for FIFA Cups. We don't need corrupt governments buying the FIFA Cup. We don't want all that. And people are choosing biblical values. They're not choosing what Credit Suisse did to get the Saudis involved in the banking and to hide their money because they don't want to pay taxes. People are choosing the opposite. And slowly through that, things are going to change, because people are tired of it. We don't vote our politicians in to have drug-infested communities, to have crime rising, to have promoting of sickness and medications. And they're pushing back against Bobby Kennedy Jr. in America because he's doing a good thing. And even the priests that preach in our church, they tell people all these pesticides and everything that they send, they use them in India, in Africa, then you guys import the food here, and then you get sick, and then you say, how come cancer is growing? People are tired of it, including me, and we're praying for change.